Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to WWE NXT May 9th, 2018 review. This show was actually well put together. Good storyline progression throughout the entire show from beginning to end. I actually really enjoyed the opener with Ricochet opening up the show with a promo with Velveteen Dream. They both expressed interest in the NXT World title. Velveteen Dream seems to be the more suitable challenger for Aleister Black's NXT World title. I think Velveteen Dream cut a very well put together promo with Ricochet, and I think Velveteen Dream has evolved highly to a very high standard, and I think a lot of that has to do with Shawn Michaels' behind the scene work with him directly. And I've actually read information about that, and that is true. Velveteen Dream, in my personal opinion, I think will be eventually the NXT World Champion at some point down the line. Other things to mention. I would definitely like to see Ricochet and Velveteen Dream hook it up in a one-on-one number one contenders match, probably at the NXT event, giving Aleister Black a different opponent to face for the time being. But if they happen to have the matchup on an NXT show, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with that either, but I prefer more of a one-on-one match between these two guys for a number one contendership to determine who will face Aleister Black at the next NXT TakeOver event in Brooklyn. So that's how I feel about that whole situation. Other things that happened on the show. We got to see EC3 get his first pinfall win over a enhancement talent by the name of Raul Mendoza. This matchup was pretty solid. Nothing major happened here. Just typical stuff you would see in the ring with a enhancement talent facing a star player within the WWE. So nothing stood out heavily to me on that. Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch catched up with Pete Dunne, and it's been announced for next week's NXT show that we are going to get to see Pete Dunne, Oni Lorcan, and Danny Burch team up to face the Undisputed Era of Roderick Strong, not Petey Williams, what the fuck am I talking about? Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and Adam Cole in a six-man tag team match, which I think is probably going to be the main event of the show, and I think it's probably going to be the show stealer of the entire show to begin with. So watch out for that one next week. I definitely think that's going to be a really good match to take a look at. If anything else on the show does suck, that will make up for everything. If the show blows to begin with. Dakota Kai versus Vanessa Bourne. This match was pretty solid as well. Nothing screamed out to me. This was more of a storyline build towards Vanessa Bourne's intimidation towards Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler really is a fucking beast. I mean, I saw her MMA record. She wasn't the greatest MMA fighter, but she presents an image that she is an intimidating person to face. Especially what she did to Vanessa Bourne. Looking at Dakota Kai, she was like petrified of Shayna Baszler, even though she voiced her opinion on how she thinks that somebody's got to stop her and she wants to be that person. Yet she didn't do a fucking thing. She ended up being scared out of her wits. And Vanessa Bourne suffered a chokehold and a rear naked choke is what I'm trying to say here. I'm just half dead tired here after doing 8-9 hours of work, and also on top of it going ahead and watching the show and so forth. So I'm kind of out of it, so don't mind me, guys. When Shayna Baszler looked at Dakota Kai and asked her to go ahead and do something, she did nothing. When Shayna Baszler left, we heard Nikki Cross laughing her ass off. Now, this is definitely a sign that Nikki Cross is more than likely going to be the person to challenge Shayna Baszler for the WWE NXT Women's Championship. I am definitely looking forward to that match. That match, I would make that match a hardcore match. And I honestly say that to be straight with you guys, because I think a hardcore match would be the best fit for these two women. Maybe you give them a one-on-one regulars match at first, and it ends up being a disqualification because Shayna Baszler, or not Shayna Baszler, but Nikki Cross goes ape stick and ends up going ahead and beating the living hell out of her with an object or something of that nature. So I think that's probably the best thing to go with right now. And then lead up to Brooklyn, we have the NXT Women's Championship defended in a hardcore match, no rules, no disqualification, so forth and so on. So that's really what I think that should happen with that whole situation. So good storyline progression, good opponent for Shayna Baszler leading up to all that. So I think that's a very good idea that they came up with and kind of hinted to us as the audience. And I think that would be a fantastic idea on their part. We had Heavy Machinery versus the War Raiders. I honestly was looking forward to this match. This match was a heavy duty matchup. The War Raiders actually did win this match. This match was a decent, okay co-main event matchup. Kind of said last week I kind of was looking forward to this match being the main event, while Tommaso Ciampa and Cassius Ohno are actually the co-main event, but it doesn't really matter. This matchup was pretty decent. Rowe with a nasty knee to the face tags Hansen and leg drop side suplex combo, and the match is over. So that's pretty much it. Let's see here. So, last thing that we also did get a promo from the Street Profits trying to train and get back in the swing of things, which wasn't all that important to me. Cassius Ohno versus Tommaso Ciampa, which is the main event of the show. This was actually a very good main event matchup. With all standing what I said last week of the War Raiders versus the Heavy Machinery being the main event, this actually, they had it right, I had it wrong. Tommaso Ciampa versus Cassius Ohno was a good idea to make the main event, because this match was absolutely fantastic. Great main event, great action by both men. I actually enjoyed watching both of them perform in this ring, and Tommaso Ciampa actually picked up the victory without cheating on top of it. You don't see that by heels in WWE's main roster. You see cowardly heels doing nothing but doing the same repetitive shit over and over and over again. We don't get that same kind of quality here in NXT. NXT gives you higher quality in heels, people that have backbones but also will cheat if they don't think that they'll be able to get the job done. They'll find shortcuts to do that. If they try doing it the right way, they'll end up going ahead and doing a shortcut altogether, trying to get through a match to retain their belt or win a match all to begin with. So that's just the overall gist of what NXT heels are like compared to a WWE heel. And I think that they have the right idea at NXT. WWE's heel ideas are absolutely boring, stale, and fucking repetitive. The heels in NXT are different. They do what old school heels used to do. They beat the people that they like, either by one way or another winning in some case or fashion to walk away the winner. Whether it's doing it the right way or cheating, it don't matter to them as long as they get the job done. That's what we got here. We did see a little bit of cheating here and there. At the end of the match, we saw Tommaso Ciampa really assault Cassius Ohno with his knee brace. He went ahead and he wrapped it around his face and pulled back on his head to make his neck hurt him. And I thought that was perfect. And I'll tell you one thing Ranello, Mauro Ranello, he is an outstanding fucking announcer. He puts a lot of effort to help promote these characters that are on our screens on a weekly basis. I don't know what the hell WWE was thinking by putting him and taking him off SmackDown, but he should be fucking announcing Raw. Because I'll tell you the truth, Raw would get a lot more emphasis from their audience here at home watching their TV shows than anywhere else. I guarantee you get more fucking enjoyment listening to Ranello than Michael Cole saying, "Here comes the big dog, Roman Reigns." I'm sorry, but I am so sick and tired of listening to that fucker, Michael Cole. It sickens me. He used to be a very good announcer on SmackDown back in the day when he was announcing with Taz, but ever since he got promoted to the Raw announce team, he has been nothing but a bore and a fucking annoying voice that I can't stand listening to and try to tune out throughout the entire show anyway. So who fucking cares about him? But this show overall, guys, I actually really enjoyed. I thought it had a lot of good storyline progression. Match-wise, it could have been better. But at the end of the day, if you can get some good quality out of it, that's all we need to enjoy a show. And that's what we got. We got something out of this that was worth our time to watch. And that is what we need. WWE gives their audience nothing. The WWE main roster, Raw and SmackDown, give us nothing to tune into and want to watch. Their matches are stale. Their guys that cut the promos are fucking boring. There's very few between that actually keep your interest. These guys are boring, stale, fucking assholes. And that's not because of them. That's because of WWE's backstage workers. They're people that help these guys tell these guys what they can and cannot do. And to be honest with you, they're handcuffed. They are restricted from showing off their talent, their gift that they have that they can do in that ring. And that's the bottom line. Because I said so. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys like watching the video. Hit the like button if you did. Leave a comment and opinion down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. And hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Have a good night. Bye.